If one day you fly over northern Tanzania, your eyes will be drawn to an unbelievable sight. A lake as red as blood, lying still in the middle of a scorched land. Lake Natron. The name alone sends chills down your spine, not because it's vast or deep, but because everything that comes close to it could die. From above, the lake's surface reflects the sunlight like a massive mirror of blood. It's hauntingly beautiful, but the longer you look, the more you feel that something is wrong. There are no birds, no signs of life, only the wind whistling across the rocky shores and the acrid, salty scent of alkali rising into the air. Many have called it the forgotten gateway to hell on earth. And when you learn what happens inside it, you'll understand why. Lake Natron is not just an ordinary lake. It's a gigantic natural trap where death hides beneath dazzling beauty. The water temperature can reach nearly 60 C, and its alkalinity is so high it can burn human skin. For birds flying overhead, just one accidental landing could be fatal. Their bodies quickly corroded and hardened as if turned to stone. People have found the remains of birds, bats, even small animals, shriveled, covered in white salt, standing silently like statues from a cursed world. But what amazes scientists even more is that this blood-red color doesn't come from blood or ordinary minerals. Inside the lake, millions of unique microorganisms thrive in conditions where no other life could survive. They are the ones creating that eerie crimson hue, making Lake Natron both a masterpiece of nature and a terrifying warning. Why can they live there? Why do life and death coexist in a single lake? The answer will send shivers down your spine. In northern Tanzania, where hot winds carry red dust across the barren savannas, there lies a land that nature seems to have kept for itself, wild, harsh, and full of mystery. There, beneath the shadow of Mount Oldonyo, the volcano the Maasai call the Mountain of God, rests Lake Natron, a deep crimson mirror stretched across the desert, burning like a wound that has never healed upon the earth. From above, Natron appears as a massive streak of blood slashing across the scorched desert. But as you draw closer, you realize this is not the gentle beauty of an ordinary lake. It spans more than 50 kilometers wide and nearly 60 kilometers long, yet only a few meters deep, a shallow body of water that seems harmless, but hides a silent power of destruction within. Temperatures in Natron can rise above 60 C, enough to turn its surface into a vast cauldron under the African sun. And if a human were to step into it, the burning sensation would quickly spread from the toes to the very marrow of the bones. Yet what makes this place a legend of death lies in the water itself. A strong alkaline mixture with a pH between 10.5 and 12, almost equivalent to ammonia or industrial cleaning solutions. Such an environment dissolves any organism unable to adapt, crystallizing them into pale gray-white shapes like stone figures. The thick mineral salt layers and blazing sunlight give the lake its eerie glow, sometimes blood red, sometimes orange, and at times a deep rose hue, as if the lake were breathing with the desert. And yet, amid what seems like absolute death, life endures in astonishing ways. Halophilic bacteria and red algae thrive in the alkalinity that kills almost every other living thing, creating the lake's haunting colors. And here, during the breeding season, thousands of flamingos from across Africa gather to nest on dry salt flats, turning Lake Natron, the lake of death, into a cradle of new life. Lake Natron is both a womb and a tomb of nature, a place where beauty and destruction coexist, where water and fire, life and death intertwine in silence. And that is what makes it one of the most terrifying and mesmerizing natural wonders on this planet. From a distance, Lake Natron glows red like a streak of blood across the sun-scorched desert, making it seem as though something terrible has stained its waters. But in truth, that bloody color doesn't come from death. It is, in fact, a sign of life, a strange kind of life, so small the human eye can't see it, yet so powerful it defies every law of survival. Within the lake's depths, where alkalinity is high enough to kill most living things in minutes, exist some of the toughest organisms on Earth. Dunaliella salina algae and halophilic bacteria. These organisms not only survive, but thrive in what others would call a chemical hell, When sunlight hits the lake, they activate a defense mechanism that produces carotenoid pigments, natural red-orange compounds similar to those found in carrots and pink shrimp. These pigments are what paint the surface of the lake into a surreal, hauntingly vivid masterpiece. As temperatures rise, water evaporates, the salt concentration increases, and the algae, along with the bacteria, produce even more pigments. That's why during the dry season, Lake Natron turns into a brilliant sea of red, almost glowing under the African sun. But when the rains return, the water dilutes and the red gradually fades into orange, then pale pink, as if the lake were changing its skin in rhythm with the breath of the earth. This phenomenon isn't entirely unique, but at Natron, it reaches its most extreme form. At the Dead Sea in the Middle East or certain salt lakes in Australia, similar shades of red can appear, all caused by Dunaliella salina and halophilic bacteria. Yet nowhere else do these colors burn so fiercely, nor does the environment reach such lethal harshness. Lake Natron is both a symphony of chemistry, biology, and geology, and a living testament to life's astonishing adaptability. The terrifying part is that the same environment nurturing these super resilient microorganisms becomes a scythe of death for ordinary creatures. Any animal, a stray bird, or a bat carried by the wind that touches the lake's surface will find its body corroded by the extreme alkalinity, then slowly harden beneath layers of crystallized minerals. Death here comes silently, swift, cold, and absolute. Thus, Lake Natron stands as both a monument to endurance and a chilling reminder of the fragile line between life and death in nature. But what truly terrifies people isn't just the red of its waters, it's what happens to any living creature unfortunate enough to fall into it. In the arid lands of northern Tanzania, the Maasai tell a story passed down through generations. There is a lake where the souls of the dead can never find peace. Its waters are red as blood, and any creature that gazes upon its reflection will be trapped there forever. They call it the Lake of the Petrified Souls. When night falls, Lake Natron becomes eerily still. The moonlight glimmers on its red surface, turning it into a silver-pink mirror, as if reflecting another world. Night hunters say that sometimes the wind howls across the lake like the wailing of lost spirits, and by morning, another bird, a bat, or even a small fox lies motionless on the shore, body hardened, eyes still wide open. The locals believe the lake is cursed, that it is guarded by the spirit of Mount Oldonyo Lengai, the volcano that punishes those who dare to trespass. But science offers a colder explanation, one no less haunting. When an animal accidentally falls into the lake, its extremely high alkalinity and dense salt content rapidly corrode the skin, draining moisture from the body as minerals begin to cling to it. Over time, layers of salt and calcium encase the corpse, slowly hardening it, a natural process of calcification under the fierce African sun. These remains appear like sculptures carved from stone and salt, still, brittle, yet eerily lifelike. In 2013, British photographer Nick Brand accidentally discovered this chilling beauty. He captured a series of animals that Lake Natron had preserved: birds, bats, even seagulls, frozen in time, their forms perfectly intact. His photo collection, The Petrified, shocked the world, revealing to millions the existence of this so-called Lake of Death. Strangely, it is death itself that gives Natron its surreal beauty, a place where destruction and art merge into one. To the people who live here, the petrified creatures are proof of nature's divine power. To scientists, they are a reminder of the fragile line between life and death, where a single misstep means no return. Lake Natron, to believers, a curse; to scientists, a miracle of nature. Yet no matter how one sees it, it commands reverence, a silent, deadly beauty of the earth itself. In a place where everything seems to lead to death, a quiet miracle of life unfolds. Right in the heart of Lake Natron, where the water boils and salt can corrode flesh, exists a creature that has chosen this place as its home, its cradle for new generations. The lesser flamingo of East Africa. Each year, when the dry season comes and the water recedes, white salt islands emerge from the crimson surface of the lake. To humans, they are nothing more than brittle, scorching blocks of salt under the blazing sun, but to the flamingos, they are the safest place on earth. The lake's caustic waters drive away all predators. No beast dares to enter, and it is within this deadly realm that the life of hundreds of thousands of flamingos begins. One by one, flamingo pairs find each other and carefully build their nests from salty mud. They stand patiently on their bare legs for hours, protected by the thick skin nature has given them to withstand the lake's harsh alkalinity. As the sun sets, the entire sky turns pink with their wings, thousands of flamingos flying above the red lake, a scene both magnificent and surreal, like a painting made of blood and light. To scientists, this is a stunning paradox. Within a place known as the Lake of Death exists one of the most fragile yet resilient cycles of life on the planet. The young flamingos hatch on the salt islands, grow up amid the searing heat, and take flight when the rains return. They are born from death and protected by it. It is said that nature always has two faces: destruction and creation, cruelty and compassion. Lake Natron is the clearest proof of that. It stands both as a warning of Earth's unforgiving power and as a solemn hint to life's unyielding will to survive. As the screen fades to the image of thousands of flamingos rising into the blood-red sunset, Lake Natron ceases to be a symbol of death and becomes a symbol of life transcending all boundaries, a reminder that even in the harshest places, life will always find a way to exist, to bloom, and to shine. Lake Natron, once feared and called the Blood Lake, the Lake of Death, is not merely a symbol of mortality. It stands as proof of nature's mysterious and magnificent power, where the line between destruction and creation is drawn in waters as red as blood, yet as radiant as life itself. In a place where life seems impossible, nature still plants the seed of a miracle. The water may corrode flesh, and the salt may kill any creature that dares to touch it. Yet it is here that hundreds of thousands of lesser flamingos choose to nest, give birth, and begin a new cycle of existence. This is Lake Natron's greatest paradox, where life and death coexist side by side like the faces of the same soul. Nature is neither cruel nor gentle. It is honest. It takes and gives, destroys and renews. To keep the world breathing, Lake Natron reminds us that beauty does not always lie in perfection, but often in the paradoxes that make us shiver. When you look upon its blood-red waters, don't see only death. See life, blooming, silent, and resilient. See the extraordinary power of nature, a force that can turn a creature to stone, yet lift a flock of birds into the sky. In death, there's life. In ferocity, there's beauty. And in the things we fear most, we sometimes find the deepest lessons about existence. Lake Natron reminds us that our world still holds countless wonders beyond human understanding, and that mystery is what makes Earth so extraordinary. As the sun sets and the crimson sky reflects upon the lake, thousands of flamingos glide slowly across its caustic waters, and in that moment we realize, even in the harshest places, life will always find a way to shine. We fear what we don't understand, yet we're drawn to it all the same, and perhaps within the things we cannot explain lies the true beauty of our world. If you love stories like this, where science meets legend, where beauty and fear walk hand in hand, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. In our next journey, we'll explore more mysteries of this earth, where life and death intertwine to create the miracles of nature.